And we're live.
What's up, guys? This is Brian Ozone, and you're in for another podcast episode of Masters of the Galaxy. And I am here with the Waffle King himself, Aaron Johnson. What's up, bro?
What's going on, Brian? What's going on?
Nothing much. Same old, same old. I am a little excited. I won an eBay auction today that I don't even know from what country. It had a weird dollar sign. It was
Well, first of all, what'd you get?
um, it's I have one. I have an American one. You put it on the shelf. It goes on the front of the shelf. It actually says Masters of the Universe on both sides, and in the middle it says Power Center, and it's spelled CENTRE. So it might be French, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, it's cool though. Like I said, I have an American, and now I have this one. It cost me $45, and then I think like 15 with shipping. I think it was like 60 overall. So it's not so bad. I mean, and actually it was never used because it has like the tape on it that you peel off, like the new envelopes have that you don't have to lick anymore.
Yeah,
It has that on it too. So I'm pretty.
that sounds
stoked.
really cool, man. I was trying to pull it up here to see if I could find something, a reference here.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's I guess like it's
So it's called the Power Center.
yeah, it's yeah, and again, it's CENTRE. It's not TER like how we would spell it.
Yeah,
Maybe I can find it and send you the link. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, so yeah, I got that today.
definitely got to be something, something from overseas because I'm not finding anything here. Not to say I'm the greatest searcher on stuff like that, but that's pretty cool. So it sets up like it's got a left and a right, and then sort of the center section.
Yeah, it's it basically it sits like I guess like in the front of the shelf, like it sits on, like it kind of explains what it is.
Yeah.
I guess I don't really know how to
No, I like it,
uh
man. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of that really obscure stuff that I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen some stuff that Tom Ace has thrown out there that I never knew existed. Just, I mean, crazy madness. But I'd definitely like to get my hands on it.
yeah.
So you picked that up this week. What else have you got this week? I know you've been spending that ozone money, man.
Yeah, well, I picked up some. I got the Target Faker.
Sweet.
Yeah, I got it for like 130 or 120. So, I figured the money I'm gonna spend on boxes, and I'll be honest with you, I called my Target every day. I call them, and I only got one box from them so far.
I have not delved into the Target wave as of yet.
No, so
I've just kind of been watching. I wanted to see, what all was getting out there and what who was getting the doubles of what and see what kind of prices there were on those. Because I love the blind box idea, but for me personally, I like to try to get the whole collection. So, better to secondhand buy, I guess, on those.
yeah, I just put the eBay thing on my page. I put your name. I don't know if it tagged you or not, but it.
Cool. I'll pull it up here and
Thanks.
see if I
Put it on.
can.
But yeah, so I actually bought Faker, and I also bought the Triclops. I got the Triclops for like $25. So basically, all I'm missing now is the super hard to find Slime Pit and the Anti-Eternia He-Man. So
Well, you gotta get that gold He-Man.
And that guy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, supposedly I read something before that somebody found them.
Well, I don't know if they found them. I did see that, and it was I think maybe because of the picture, because he was in the picture, so you can see him in the background of the picture, and all the others are actually set up too. So I think they're just saying basically here he is. But I skimmed through the comments because I was wondering if somebody had actually found it, but I don't think that's the case.
Okay. Yeah, because like I said, I saw that someone found them, but there was no pictures, and people were basically calling them out, saying it was a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
Because I guess there was no proof. So hopefully it is, because
Well, I'd just like to know where it is. I mean,
yeah. Well, that's I'm with you with that. I would love to know who got them and who to congratulate and see how much they want for it.
and see if we could get my hands on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was looking on the page to see if I could find where you just posted that. I'm not seeing. Did you do it on the Masters of the Galaxy?
No, I put it on my page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really just wanting to get an eye on that thing and see what it was, but that's definitely there was something else I saw this past week that was kind of, I hadn't seen many of those, but it was that chest, Masters of the Universe chest that opens up, and I think it plays some music when it opens or something. Have you seen that?
The toy chest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the toy chest. It doesn't play music.
Well, I think what it was maybe somebody had modified it. So
they rigged it. Nice.
Yeah, and then, so when you opened it up, it played Masters music.
Sweet.
Really killer.
Oh, it's really cool. Yeah, there's actually two different types of toy chests. There's the one that you saw that just opens up.
This was red and white, so it was the red and white one.
Yeah, I have that one, and then there's another one that Tom Ace got. He outbidded me. I totally forgot about the auction, and I forgot to throw in that. I should have used my sniper program, but I didn't. But the one that he got is really cool. It has it's kind of like the same thing, but then it has shelves up top. It's really cool.
Yeah, I need something like that in my life, man. I've got stuff sitting everywhere, and I really need some more. I don't like to just set stuff. I like to have like little themes going on and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Then my buddy Brian, that he's part of the family now. He became a moderator for the Masters of the Galaxy page. He outbid me on I don't even know what to call it. It's like a toy chest with wheels, man. It's pretty cool. I've never seen one before. It's pretty wild.
And that's Masters also?
Yeah. It's got to be the same people must have made both, because they kind of like they look similar.
Okay, I see this power center now. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, I guess describing for the fans that are listening, this thing kind of looks like a 2x4.
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe logo on one end, Masters of the Universe logo on the other, and it just says Power Center in the middle. So
right, and then again, I don't know if the look at the price, but I don't know, or maybe does it say where it's from?
Yeah, it's GBP. So
Great Britain.
Great Britain, yeah, and
okay.
So you got some Royal Mail, so that's the deal, and looks like 4512 is where you went with it, so not too shabby,
Yeah, no, not too bad,
especially for a cool piece of Masters memorabilia that I honestly have never seen. I mean, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I have another one. Like I said, I have one. It's in kind of like a baby bluish, and I totally forgot what it says because I had to hide it. Because I had it set up where my electrical panel is, and that's where I had like a little like scene set up. But I had to move it because when they put the solar panels on my roof, they needed access to the electrical panels to put stuff in there and whatnot.
So Brian, could you please move your toys so we can fix your problem?
Basically, so I kind of had to put it somewhere so it wouldn't get stepped on or anything would fall on it, because it's so rare and old, man. It's it's not something you can go out and look and find and get.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure like this thing that you just got, this Power Center, I don't know how many of those are probably out there. I've definitely never seen that before, so that's interesting.
I never saw one, and I usually check. I'll check like Italy eBay. I always check England's eBay because they'll a lot of places don't like to ship to America for some reason. But
Well, I think it's just the fact that, I mean, honestly, like we deal with that same thing, like just to get through, customs and that
yeah,
stuff or whatever. I'm paying like when somebody wins overseas, wins a waffle. I mean, you're talking a $22 minimum, before we even get out of the country. So,
right. Yeah, no, it did. Customs is crazy. I mean, it's definitely a process which people don't like to deal with, and I understand. I get it. But no, but there's some people in England, they will ship to America, and that's actually where I found this amazing. I've never seen it before. It's like a placemat but it's like more like a play rug, I
uh-huh.
guess. I have it on my floor in my He-Man room. It's really it's
So how big is that thing?
I'd say it's like 4 foot by 3 foot.
Oh wow, yeah, that's definitely got some good size to it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And again, that's something I've never seen before. I was amazed. I got it a couple of years ago. I don't remember what I got it for, but I know I didn't pay a lot for it. I was really, really shocked.
Now, would you say that is that something that you would definitely say is Masters products, or maybe something that somebody had made,
No, no,
or
no, no. It's legit. Mattel has the logo on it.
yeah? And I noticed this thing that you just got. It is Mattel logoed, so we
Yeah.
know it's the real deal. But that was what I was going to talk to you about. I ran into some stuff. I was looking in a comic store or a toy store down the road today, and found a Manny Faces that was on an unpunched card. Still had a nice clear bubble, no yellow, and
A vintage one.
yeah. And I was honestly, man, I was on the fence about picking it up, and then
Okay.
I remembered the commemorative line, and I thought, I really don't know if this is commemorative or not, and I don't know how to tell those apart. And I thought, well, that'd be a good topic for the podcast tonight to talk about some of those differences, because the commemorative line, I didn't pick up any of those.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything for reference as far as
Well,
what's different.
well, the single carded figures came in I think it came on a card like the original one, pretty much
Inside of the black.
inside of that black outer box. But they might have taken it out of that box.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, man, I have not run across a card so beautiful
Really.
in a really long. I mean, I really was hesitant on whether should I just go ahead and pull the trigger on it, and it was, price wise, it was a good price, but it was one of those things like if I had the other to look at it and compare it,
Right.
then I could have said, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and jump on this, but I was afraid because I know what were the prices on those commemoratives. Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I know they still sell good on eBay. So
some of them do. I know. I mean, I have the He-Man Battle Cat 2-pack, the Skeletor Panther 2-pack, and I have the two 4-packs or 5-packs, whatever it is.
Yeah, the 5.
I have those. That's the only things I have of the commemorative. I didn't get into them because I for some reason I don't know why I just didn't do it. I just didn't want to get into it because I don't know how deep or how far they were gonna go, and
yeah. So with that said, how far did they go? How we got 8? Is that
no? They did a lot actually.
let's see. Okay, I'm pulling it up now. We've got
they did do a lot. They got to probably maybe like to wave 3, I would say.
Well, I'm looking at the pack now that has now. This looks like the fold out pack that was sort of the big thing, and it spun open. So it had like
Penny.
That's had like Jason 5 Penny panels to it or something.
Yeah,
it's a 10 pack. So there are 10 in that line, but I tell you what, I don't see a Manny Faces. So
oh yeah, wait, I don't think they did make Manny Faces in the
oh my god, I could kick myself in the
I don't think they did actually.
I knew it. I honestly was in an area and I thought, man, I need to pop onto the groups and ask a question because somebody's got to help me out. But hey,
how much were they asking for it?
$50. It was $50,
Jeez.
but it was an absolutely beautiful card. Not a nick, scratch, dent, nothing. Was unpunched, and of course had the mini yellow, no yellow on the bubble. I mean, beautiful, beautiful piece. But I didn't know. I jumped on eBay. I kind of tried to look around and see if there was anything, that had recently closed out. And the closest one I could find, there was one that went for 150, and it was similar conditions. So
I would do your research tonight and make sure you swing by it tomorrow.
oh yeah, man, that's one of those things.
And I would definitely talk them down. Start like 30, 35.
So
You got nothing to lose if you start low.
So, in your opinion, you go into your local toy store. You don't care to try to dicker with them some, bring the price down.
I always do, no matter where I go. No matter. I always try to get everything cheaper, man.
I'm too nice of a guy. I'm always like, oh, you want 50? Okay, 50.
Yeah, I understand that, but my local comic shop, I've been going there for, man, like over 20 years. So they know me very well. They actually called me up when I actually got a phone call the other day. They just got the Wonder Woman, the multiverse figures in. They called me to see if I needed any of them. They're really cool. They keep me in mind all the time and email me and stuff. But I haggle with them all the time. If there's a price $20, I'll be like, I'll give you 10, and then.
Yeah, now I have a local guy that I definitely don't mind to, because we talk masters when I go in. So I don't mind to tell him, hey, I can't pay that, or that's a little high. But for the most part, he cuts me some pretty good deals on anything masters, and he knows what we do. So he's always trying to find it. And I got some good grabs up there this week. A little shout out to my local guy, because he runs a little place called Cavalier Comics, and it's here it's actually in Wise, Virginia, and it's a small shop. He just moved into a bigger facility, but man, I mean, he's got anything that you could possibly think of, and so when he runs across masters, he tries to grab it for me, and he got some pretty cool ones this week.
That's cool. See, that's the thing, though, man. I mean, with me, I've been collecting for so long now. It's so hard to come across a gem or something, it's like
it's like your eBay find. I mean, that's something that I know Brian Ozone didn't have, and for you to jump on it and be excited about it, it's got to be a rare piece.
Yeah, because like my guy, he'll get actually when I was there the other day for Free Comic Book Day, someone must have sold off his entire Simpson collection, because man, one of their display cases had hundreds of Simpson figures. So I asked the girl Diane. I said, I guess someone sold you their Simpsons collection, and she started laughing. But my comic shop is really cool. I go to Royal Collectibles on Metropolitan Avenue. If anybody in Queens is listening, go there and check them out. They just opened up a store 3 stores down. It's wrestling / sports memorabilia stuff. They used to have everything in the comic book store, but now they've been
kind of branched out.
Right, they extended it.
Well, that's kind of what happened to my guy. He, he was in a pretty small spot, and he'd been there for years, and the demand has actually grown so much, and people are getting back into comics and back into collecting, and so he wanted to expand, and he does Magic tournaments and things. So
right, they do that too in the basement.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's amazing how many people go, and I walked in. It was kind of like you. I walked in this week, and he has this one little section that he always puts the Masters of the Universe stuff in, and I looked over and I saw a Talon fighter, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, and so I got over there and got to looking through some of his stuff, and man, he had picked up just a ton of vintage figures, and so we were debating on some of that and what I was going to pick up, and then he says, oh man, I almost forgot. He said, I got these for you this week, and he popped out some of the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe magazines. And
oh, really?
Yeah, charged me $5 a magazine. I was just absolutely thrilled, because they're kind of expensive if you get them on eBay, and So he had the fall 86 and the summer 86. Summer 86 is the one with He-Man going at Hiss, and you get all the Snake Men in the background of Snake Mountain.
Right.
And then fall 86 is the one with the Blaster Hawk on the front. So,
all right.
Yeah, man, was very, very happy to pick those up.
Did they come with the posters?
Yes. And
perfect.
That was the thing. Like, when I looked at the
Perfect.
condition of the outside of the book, I was like, oh, man, please let these posters be in here. And sure enough, they were. And, of course, that's, I do that for the group. So there'll be some nice waffle winnings this week, boys, because we picked up some posters.
Please let me know when those go. I want in on those.
Yeah, man, I always do them as extras. We do a figure always, or at least 2 or 3. I normally do 2 or 3 classics, but the posters are always in there because I love doing them, and so I like to give them away as extra spins.
Yeah, I would just if you just did the magazine, I would just do that. I definitely need those 2.
We did last week. We did. I had picked up one, and it was the one that had Monstroid coming up out of the water, and he's
cool,
holding Rio Blast, and Extendar's running for his life, like he should be fighting to help, but instead he's running.
Time out. Now, I always mean to bring this up. Now, do you have the vintage Extender figure?
I do.
What is with the peace sign on his back?
I love it, man. It was honestly, I think, something that the design team just snuck in there on the back of his neck, and I thought it was a killer detail that they threw it on the Classics version. So, they just made it match, and I don't know if there's any true story that we could find out about it, but I'm assuming that maybe just one of the design guys was like, hey, let's throw a peace sign back here.
Yeah, because I have the European magazine that gives you the backstory of him and Dragstore.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's actually really cool.
More or less just tells their story.
Yeah, like Hordak, like they were best friends or whatnot, and Hordak abducts them, and then turns them into Dragstore and Extendar. But Extendar, I guess he has too good of a heart, and he stays good. And
now, is that different than the way that the mini comic tells it? Because the mini comic is the Warrior Machine, and I guess that was what was packed in with Dragstore.
Yeah, I got to reread that, to be honest with you. I do. I skimmed through it the other day, and yeah, it is different.
Because I'm looking at it right now, and the way that it starts out is a little different. You've already got Extendar talking to Prince Adam, but
right.
It tells you, of course, in the first page or two, how Hordak is making Dragstore. So, I can create a creature like Dragstore, and Dragstore transforms from man to vehicle. So really cool that they started with that, but it doesn't tell anything about Extendar.
Yeah, he makes the both of them at the same time in the European magazine. If you you got to give me your email, I can send you an early birthday gift.
Oh, I will definitely do that, Brian. There's no problem with doing that whatsoever.
Yeah.
No, okay, I went over a couple pages, and it looks like maybe there is a flashback scene where it says Hordak begins his fiendish experiments on Extendar. So apparently Extendar was normal in the beginning of the mini, and now he's being transformed.
Well, that's the same thing in the European magazine. They were both, normal human beings, I believe they were like best friends. It's been a while since I read it. Hordak abducts them, grabs them, and he's doing his crazy experiments and makes him into who he does. And again, like I said, Extendar just is a good-natured guy.
Can't stay evil.
Yeah. He kind of, I guess, breaks the spell that Hordak has over him, and becomes a master,
Man, that's something. I mean, to be honest, as far as characters go in early development, as me as a kid, I always liked Extendar because that was just an interesting character. He's been manipulated, he's been changed in some way, and he's been given these powers. I just always thought Extendar was really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, he always, again, that peace symbol always, it just really intrigued me because it's just so odd to be on the, like it,
Yeah.
and it always made me look closely to all the other figures that they made. Like it made me think, like, are there any other, oddities or whatever
That
they
they've
snuck in,
hidden.
you know?
Yeah, no.
But
As soon as I got the Extendor, the classics version, as soon as I got them, that was one of the first things I checked because I was like, man, I wonder, is
yeah,
that something that they really just kind of slid under the radar? Nobody, really paid attention to, but obviously somebody did because it's, the Four Horsemen have put it on the sculpt. So
right, right. Yeah, it's. I just wish there was it. The Four Horsemen did put it on the new one. I don't remember.
yeah, it is, and that's the
It.
cool thing. Do you have the classics version there?
I
Uh,
do. I do, but it's not with me right now. It's downstairs in my He-Man room.
it's the neck peg extension, obviously, and when you pop in the neck peg extension, you've got the peace sign on the back of it. So
Oh, okay,
I
that's what it
was like,
is.
man, that's definitely some attention to detail. You know,
Yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely, without a doubt, awesome that they kept it in. I just I don't even think I actually looked at the neck piece. I think I just threw it in my weapons bin, to tell you the truth, because I don't want them extended. I just want them normal size.
I keep him the same way, and it's like I don't know, man. He just is so bulky. I'm not a huge. I mean, I love the sculpt because that is what the figure is. But as far as his body is just very bulky, and the vintage was too. So I mean, I guess it's kind of the same thing. But I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. I
There are
hear
a
you.
couple of classics that we have like that have kind of the bigger upper body sculpt, and it's almost like their arms don't go down, perfectly
Oh,
well.
right, right, right. Yeah, some of the actual. I'm trying to think of some one of the figures. The um, the body armor itself, it kind of hinders it too.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of that way on Heroes. Heroes is not King
That's what.
Hiss. King
Yeah,
Hiss is who is really bad. Yeah, his sticks out way far. So, but
yeah,
yeah, Heroes is the same. It's kind
yeah,
of bulky up underneath, but I don't know, man. I still, I love the sculpts regardless. It's all good. There's just little things that I nitpick.
yeah. Oh man, I bought a guitar and it's supposed to be here today. It's not here. Uh,
We take a break as
oh,
Brian
sorry.
checks the mail.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Those little attention to details, like you said, it's just really cool that they did. And I hope they continue to do that because it's just the little nod. It's like a nod to the vintage, and I think it's really cool.
Well, it always makes me feel good because I feel like somebody gets it. It's like whoever's sculpting this, the Four Horsemen, they get it because they know that there are all these tiny, minute little details that we want, and they put them in there. Like I opened Ular this past week, and just there's not a lot to him, but at the same time, there's a lot of detail in the loincloth and the way that it's tied, and his sword. I thought that was kind of cool because it's a throwback to the other sword that's featured in some Alcala stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
man, they get it. They get the details. They know what the fans want, and they make it that way. So I love it.
yeah, it's definitely cool. I just hope they keep it up. I really, well, the Four Horsemen, they just been kicking major ass since the beginning, and they did such a great job with the Thundercats as well. It's just a shame um, that
So, we get any
lasted.
update on that? Is there anything changing on that front, or?
Supposedly, there's, just like with the pop, they're still pursuing.
Yeah,
They're
I think they'll get it, and I hope that they, I know that their intentions are to. So,
well,
we'll sit and wait.
well, put it like this: Mattel got it, so it's out there. I mean, I'm sure they get whoever owns. I'm not sure who owns the rights to the Thundercats now, but I'm sure that they definitely want to make money, and just by owning the rights of it isn't really making a whole lot of money because It's not like they're coming out with new DVDs or whatnot, because I think they just came out with a DVD set not that long ago. I mean, unless they have stuff that wasn't in that DVD set that they can put in the new one, maybe like unfinished episodes or whatnot. I mean, I don't know. But again, if you're just sitting on the property and not doing anything with it, what's the sense?
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of like Masters. I mean, you know, we went through a period there where we weren't getting anything, and it just doesn't make sense for somebody to have an intellectual property like that the fans really want stuff. You know,
Yeah.
the demand for Thundercats is there, and
Oh, definitely is there. It is so there. I mean, and there's so many probably new fans that when Maddie got them, because you know they finally fit in scale with your He-Man figure. I mean, for when I was a kid and I'm setting up my He-Man and Thundercats, I couldn't stand the size difference. Like
yeah,
Lion-O towered over He-Man.
yeah, not at all. He can't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. It's as much as I love Lion-O and the Thundercats, there's no way that He-Man is like a midget. You know?
Did you happen to catch the video that was circulating around this past week in some of the groups? I posted it, I think, in mine, where it was it's an older video, but it's a video game style, you know, face off between He-Man and Lion-O.
Yeah, that's pretty old, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was dated like 2013, maybe, or
Yeah,
2014.
I have seen that. I have seen that.
That was the first time I'd ever seen it the other day, and I was sitting at work and browsing through, and I saw that, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's hilarious!"
Oh
But
yeah.
it really well done. And that point that you just made kind of made me think of another thing we're going to talk about. There's a lot of new fans, and that's I think it's interesting because I'm seeing people getting in the game, you know, I guess to say late to the game, but they're saying, hey, I didn't even know these existed, you know, and I've got some folks in the group, you know, they got their first classics, you know, just the other day when they got a
Yeah.
waffle win. So didn't even know the classics line existed. So
Yeah, to me, it was a big shame, because the only promotions that they ever did for the classics line was in Toy Fair.
yeah,
They'd have the one page of the next character that would be coming out, and that was it. So when they decided to start doing the DC stuff, I got excited because I said, "Oh, great! They're gonna, and start promoting the figures again."
yeah.
And we didn't get anything. And yeah, I mean, I've heard plenty of stories of people, you know, in the last year or two that just recently bought their first figure that never even knew about this line existed. And now we're talking, this line has been out for almost 10 years.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder. I mean, it almost kind of makes me sad in a way that, you know, I didn't get into classics until late in the game. I got in classics in 2012, but I actually prior to did not know they existed. And I think it's kind of a huge miss as far as marketing goes, because we see day in, day out how popular these figures are. I mean, they're sellers regardless. I mean, it doesn't matter if you throw it out there, somebody's going to buy it. And it makes you wonder, what would have happened, or what could we have gotten if this had been marketed, if it had a push behind it, if there had been, you know, and if the new He-Man movie does happen, will we see a new push? Will there be a new toy push? Will there be a new marketing push?
Yeah, well, that kind of scares me also, because I think they're definitely going to probably go to Toys R Us, Target, and I forget the word for it. But I don't know if they'd be compatible with the classics, like, same size or bulkiness or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's going to be completely different. I mean, which I wouldn't mind if it is different, but it'd be cool if they were the same style. They could fit in with
Here's
the
my
hunt.
issue with it. I mean, I think the classics line got so big and is so expansive, and it covers so much that it's kind of like those are the cream of the cream. I mean, that's it. Like, that's the top tier, I feel like. And then so at the price point that they're at, they're expensive figures, obviously, because they're adult collector. So what I worry is there a middle ground that we could get where we could get figures that are, like you said, can still work with that and can be army building and that kind of thing, or be different enough that you want to collect that line but still match in with your classics line. I know the articulation, I just don't think you could put it on the shelves in stores for the price that you would need to.
Yeah. Well, and you also got to remember, Toys R Us really has they really don't trust He-Man, and
Yeah.
it really, I've said this before. It goes back to the 2000X, the Smash Blade figures, the peg warmers, the case ratios were disgusting, and they had these figures on the pegs for months, years. I hear.
But who do you
And,
blame in that sense? I mean, is that, in
well,
my mind, that's Mattel. I mean,
100% Mattel's fault. They're the ones distributing the product to Toys R Us to sell, and it's not Toys R Us's fault that the case ratios were horrible. But let's now they gave them another shot with the DC versus the classic figures, and again they were peg warmers.
Yeah, and that's what blows my mind too, because those, as far as from what I understand now, like I said, I was not picking up figures at that time, and I know that you did. So you went to Toys R Us, and these figures were actually there.
Yeah.
I saw them and actually passed on them, but I just wonder, did they sit there for months and months and months, and nobody bought this DC He-Man and DC
some of them, yeah. I mean, basically, I would the Stratos Hawkman two pack, that was a peg warmer. The Merman Aquaman, that was a peg warmer.
So which way do you feel like it went? Do you feel like it was because the matchup wasn't popular, or like maybe there weren't a lot of folks into that particular DC character? Or was it the other way around? Was it folks were into the DC, but they weren't into the Masters figures?
I know a lot of DC fans that were kind of stoked for it because they were not into buying the He-Man figures, but they were into it because they did like He-Man, so they got that window to buy it for the He-Man figures. Now, the He-Man figures, they were variants. They did change the colors of things, and now the DC figures were the same exact figures that they already had. If they were collectors, they didn't change nothing about them. It was the same figure that they already had. If they were,
so there was no real enticement to jump on that particular figure.
For the DC fans, no, unless they just wanted to get the Masters figures if they didn't have it.
Now, see, in my mind, like as far as the DC figures go, and again, this is just my opinion, but the DCs, I'm going to say something awful, and I hope I don't make anybody mad with this, but DC He-Man is absolutely one of my favorites. He's my favorite. I love the paint. I love the bracers. I love the different hair color. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But when you look at the figures, I had a Merman 2-pack, and then I also was looking at the Stratos. Okay, they're the same figures, but they were poorly painted, and in some cases, I don't know, man, they just didn't seem to be the same quality as the classics. So, were they made different, or do you know?
You talking about the Master figures?
Yeah, the ones that are in those 2-packs.
No, they were pretty much a variant of the figures we already had at the time.
So just a repaint?
They were just repaints. Yeah, I mean, the only different figure that we got was Faker.
Now I thought Zodak's was Zodak's feet different? I want to say there was. I want to say it was booted on the DC version, maybe.
Yeah, I believe it was, and I believe his hands might have been painted white instead of gray, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So yeah, he like there was little things here and there on certain on figures, but like I said, the Faker was a completely new figure out of all of the Toys R Us 2-packs.
Yeah,
Other than him, I would say the biggest difference would be Merman because he was blue.
yeah, and that may have been, I guess, really maybe that's the one that soured the taste in my mouth with it, because that is the one that I got, and I don't know if it was maybe just paint rub or what, but it was a really poor paint job on it. And
Really, I really enjoyed it. I liked it.
well, I mean, it may have just been my particular figure
Oh
that it
yeah,
had some bleed, or some things just didn't line up right. But now I'm looking at the 2-pack with He-Man, and it looks like, of course, that shield's different. We didn't get that shield. He does have the axe, so that's normal.
right.
But the shield is different, so it's not your normal classic shield. It's got
Right.
black dots and nothing in the center. I was trying to get a look at Zodak and see foot wise.
Yeah, and then Skeletor, he had a different, like his face was I think was more yellowish, I believe. I haven't looked at it in a while.
Yeah,
And
it seemed like a very simple paint on his, and that's where I was going with that a minute ago. It's just a flat yellow.
right, yeah, and then he came with the yellow sword, I believe, or
Yes.
gold sword.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, oh, and the other thing with He-Man is, I believe he had, I believe his wrists were different.
Yeah, the bracers are
Yes,
rounded ones from,
yes,
and it's rounded on both hands, which is
right.
interesting, because his original classics version, the Faker version, the Battle Armor version, all of those have the flat left bracer, that's sort of the bigger, longer one.
Right, like the arm protector, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, sort of the wrist shield there. But
yeah.
The DC He-Man, it's both bands, so he's got the wristbands on both, and they're bright yellow.
Right.
So, and I really like his, and I have no issue with his repaint. But now, it was cool that they are a little different. But I think if we were going to market these, and let's say that we were doing this brand new, and we were going to market these figures, would it have not been a good idea to line these up with the DC mashup? We had that 6-comic crossover that was a DC mashup.
Yeah, that would have been better timing, I believe. Yeah, without a doubt.
I just kind of wonder, should somebody else be handling the marketing, man? Because, well, I mean, obviously now Super 7 is, but
and Super 7's doing a better job. I mean, they're coming out with those. I don't know if you want to say bi-weekly or monthly videos, update videos, or whatever. But I mean, they are doing a way better job getting the word out from their mouth. It's just not hearsay. So
I definitely appreciate Brian Flynn. I mean, the
the
guy's funny too, but the fact that he doesn't mind to hop on there and tell us what's going on, and that's something that you definitely didn't get from Mattel, as far as hearing what the plans were, and I know they got some things they can't tell us, but
right.
So if we got a new movie, and we tried to put together this marketing prowess, so new toy line, what do you think, Brian? What would you do? Would you do minis? Would you do less packaging and maybe put a little more on the figure? Or
be honest with you, I don't know what they would do. I mean, if I was in charge, I would keep it in the same style as classics. I would try to keep it in the same type of buck.
I would love to know what the price point is on those bucks.
That's what I was gonna say. The price point would be a major factor in selling them in like a Toys R Us. I mean, you're not gonna have a kid walk into Toys R Us and after seeing the movie want a $32 figure. I mean, no parent in their right mind would say, okay.
Oh yeah, they're gonna, no, we're not getting this.
Right. So that's the thing. Who knows? They might make a completely new buck. More skinnier, cheaper to make. Maybe more like 2000X. Not saying in like that battle stance that they're in,
But
but
less
sort of
articulation.
maybe less articulation. Um, who knows? I mean, maybe less articulation, but more weapons, or vice versa. Because that's what they always say. It's always we have to give to get and get to give.
Yeah.
So who knows what we actually get.
Yeah, and I kind of feel that way. I mean, I feel like because classics is at the price point that it is at, and even like with these sales and things, we've kind of been spoiled a little bit because these sales they've been so great. Like $12 a figure, $13 a figure. I mean, that's really awesome. Of course, we know that that's just them moving overstock, but
Right.
point being, at what point, it's because classics is what it is. I just don't know that I could go lower than that, and be happy. I mean, I'm going to be happy anything Masters, but as far as collecting an entire line, and if they were to make that, how could they make it price effective for, catching that kid that just saw the movie and wants
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
get those figures?
That's my point. So it's like, well, the thing also is, besides Toys R Us, there's really no other toy stores like chains anymore because KB's went out of business. Um, and
Oh, that's the internet, dude. Internet's killed everything, man.
yeah, and it's amazing that GameStop out of everywhere is getting all the Mattel overstock. So I don't know what they would do if they would even do sales in toy stores. I don't know how it would be handled, and what they would include. I honestly something like that. I'm a fan of the Build-A-Figures. I think it's really cool. Just the DC Multiverse 6-inch figures.
All right, break me in, and be gentle. I'm Masters only, so what's this Build-A-Figure madness?
They're not. They're about $20 a figure. Depending on who it is, you get the weapons or whatever that comes with the figure, and plus you get the Build-A-Figure accessory. Whatever that figure has, 2 arms or the waist or the torso or the head.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Okay, I got.
So you might get something like that, and they have really good articulation. So I'm thinking probably that's the way they would go. If
What's the scale on those?
They're 6 inches.
Okay.
They're 6 inches. But they do. It's great because I'm a huge Batman fan. And they have made the Batman the Dark Knight comic book. They did make Batman, Superman, Robin, and the Joker and the Mutant from that comic book. They made the figures of them as the Classics buck. They used the Classics bucks to make them. So now you have Batman, Superman, the Joker, and in your Masters of the Universe collection, which is awesome.
I've seen. There's actually a guy in some of our groups. I know he's in Masters of the Galaxy, Eric Zertush, and he has it's a DC He-Man, but he's on Superman's buck. So it's really awesome because it matches the classics.
Yeah.
He's got a Batman one and some of the others, but man, it's really awesome that they are interchangeable like that.
Yeah, they use the bucks. They say they changed like 1 or 2 pieces, but I don't see it.
Customizer's dream.
Yeah. But I mean, for a fan like me, I'm a diehard Batman fan since the day I was born, and a huge diehard He-Man fan. So it's really cool to have He-Man and Batman fighting each other, or even now you have, DC Presents 41. You can fight He-Man and Superman.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's the interesting thing about the mashup, and I know a lot of fans don't know that that was out there because I've talked to a lot of folks about the literature and them not knowing that they actually did that 6 comic run, and it kind of plants itself like right in between the transition from He-Man Masters Universe to the Eternity War series. So I think there's a little blurb in there that says, to find out what happened prior to, check out DC's 6 series run, and directs you to those comics.
oh really?
Yeah, it's in one of, I don't know if it's in the first, I think there's 15 or 16 in that first run before it changes over to Eternity War. But
Okay.
somewhere in there, it directs you over to that DC Masters mashup, and it tells you to get that comic and read, and it kind of fills you in on what happened.
Oh, cool.
So I've talked to a lot of folks didn't know that was out there, and I don't know, man. I think that was a really smart way of doing it. It would have been cool if it had released with these 2-pack figures because it would have made sense. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the actual people that they are against. So, I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. That would have been, that would definitely went hand in hand. That you brought up a really good point with that. They should have waited for that. And again, something else was the Faker Bizarro 2-pack never hit the stores. You had to actually buy it online.
Oh, so that was never actually in Toys R Us at all.
No, you bought it on ToysRUs.com, but you were limited to, I forget, I think 5 or 8. And I, excuse me, I was lucky enough to get the 5 or 8, whatever it was.
Man, I've been trying to get that Faker forever. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just not happening. It's the price point on that thing is just out there.
Nah, you'll get them. Trust me, you'll get them. You'll get them.
Dude, I watch religiously, and I really, I'm one of those guys that every day's a new day. Like there are toys and collectibles out there tomorrow that I don't even know about yet. So I'm always hopeful.
I'll give you my sniper program. You'll get them. Trust me.
Yeah, I definitely need to check that out.
But yeah, I was able to get the maximum amount that they were allowed. So I was able to help out people because I only wanted 2, one to open and one to save.
Yeah.
So I was able to help out my buddy in Germany. I actually helped him get all the 2-packs because they weren't selling them overseas. They only sold them in the States. So I helped him get all those. And I forget who else I did, but
man, that's the cool things about these groups and stuff. We were having that discussion this past week that, it is about the love, man. And most folks in the groups they're not trying to scalp anybody. They're not trying, they're just trying to help your buddy out. And that,
Yeah, I actually, during Sandy, I had 4 2-packs that got destroyed. I got the He-Man, Skeletor, Merman, and Stratos 2-packs that got water damage from Sandy. But the figures were fine. They were still on the card, still, but they just weren't mint. So this guy Paul asked me about it, and I said, I'm willing to sell them. And he said, for how much? And basically, I sold them for what I bought them for, $30. So. I threw in a Havoc staff because he didn't come in a Havoc staff.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what's up. I mean,
yeah,
that's the crazy thing. These groups have really blown my mind with the love. I mean, especially our waffle group. I know we talk about that crap a lot, but it's these groups, the stuff that they do, the people, the kindness, the generosity. It blows my mind, man. Because what it really is it's collectors who want everybody else to have it too. And they want everybody else's collection to be great.
It's and that's the reason why I wrote on the Galaxy page. If because there's a lot of guys going and buying the Anti-Eternia and the Filmation He-Man.
Yep.
And scalping them for $100 or whatever. And I wrote on there. I said, if I see anybody not selling it for face value, I'm deleting it. Because to me, it's not fair. I started stuff like that to help people out.
Yeah, and I've had that same conversation. We posted about it a while back in just the sense that there are places that you can do that, and I definitely don't. If somebody wants to sell an apple for $50, and there's somebody out there that wants a $50
I'm
apple,
all
then,
for it.
hey, baby, get on it.
Yeah,
But these groups are about friendship and about
exactly.
hooking each other up, and I don't like to see that kind of stuff, man. It's
I'm 100% with you. Like I said, I don't want to see that crap. I'm not a fan of it. I'm here to help people. Since day one, since the showing of that He-Man at San Diego Comic-Con, I just, if I can help out with anybody, I will. And people have helped me get things. I had my friend Brian after Sandy. He was kind enough to reach out to people and help me get stuff that got ruined in Sandy. So, there's a lot of nice people out there that are in it for the right reasons. And then you have those people out there that are just looking for, to make a quick buck
make
off of
that
something.
gain, baby. Make those gains. I don't know,
listen,
man. That's just not the collecting game for me. For me,
right.
It's I've got a close friend here that collects masters, and he's a big buddy of mine, and we sit and we chat and we talk about those kind of things. And
Right.
for me, if there's something that I can get that will help him out, shoot, yeah, man, I'll sell it to you. I don't want anything more than what I've got in it just to
Correct.
get it for you.
I'm the same way. I'm here to help. I'm not here to, I'd love to make money. But it's helping people first. I'm lucky enough that I'm in a situation that I have a great job, and yeah, I do have ozone money or whatever you want to say.
I love it, man. We need a custom of that ozone money.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to be able to get things. So when I can help somebody, I want to, because I get it, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, there were people that have helped me along, and it's the kind of thing that just because I do a waffle page and all that stuff, it doesn't mean I've got everything in the world. I mean, there's things that I try to keep back for Graylin for when he grows up, but for the most part, I'm a collector and I want to have those things myself. So
right.
There's been a lot of people that's helped me out and hooked me up. Paul Rudman is definitely one of those. Has just been a saintly fellow, and Dan Rice and some of those guys that they say, hey, do you need this, bro? Because I'll send it out to you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, those are the type of people that need to get recognition, because maybe if people see stuff like that more, maybe they'll start acting or thinking like that more, because in all honesty, you need to make friendships and networking, I guess, in our community, because that's what it's all about, man. It's about helping.
Well, this is how we keep it going. I mean, we are the people who are driving this community, and that's the thing. Everybody who is a part of the pages, everybody who's part of the Masters of the Galaxy page, it's you guys are making this happen. This is all happening because of you guys, and it's awesome to be a part of it, because it is a movement that we have going on underneath that, man, if Mattel had any idea the kind of money that we got and what we do, they would have been marketing this stuff to us forever. I mean, we would have had He-Man hubcap covers and all kinds.
I know. It's to me, it's crazy. I wish I could just get a job for marketing for Master of the Universe. I mean, it's just insanity that they don't do more than they would. Well, they don't do nothing. Period.
How's this for marketing? I think this is awesome. This came out of one of the magazines that I picked up this past week, and I've got one that I've had on my wall here in the waffle room, but it says, yes, I want the most powerful magazine in the universe delivered to my door, 4 issues for $6. Man, if I could get 4 issues of the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe magazine for $6,
imagine that one.
Say print that baby today.
Yeah,
let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, I mean, there's still such a demand for the magazines. I mean, just look at the Dark Horse books, how they sell. I mean, that should set off someone's light in Mattel.
Hey, is that compendium out? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out. Is the compendium out now? The full compendium?
I don't know. I saw somebody on Facebook with a picture of it, so maybe it is shipping.
But yeah, you're absolutely right, man. That's it. What it is, I mean, look at how well those books have done.
Yeah.
So this was kind of my question to you earlier that we bounced around it, and I never really asked you. But if you could get a new He-Man in the Masters of the Universe magazine, obviously you're familiar with it, you know what all's in there. Um, if you could redo that and have one for now,
Right.
what would you have in it? What would be in there?
Well, I would do the same thing that they did. I would have the poster, because I mean, you got
Yeah,
Axel
posters a
Jimenez.
must.
You got such great artists out there right now, Pop Man. I mean, you got, besides
Axel.
all there, Axel. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely great guys that can do the poster for the month. Um, I would still do the cartoon, the comic cartoon that they do. Um, I would have fans, like they used to do,
Write in, tell stories.
the write-in stuff. I'd have that, and then I'd have like maybe like Q&As with somebody.
Oh, I love it, dude. We need to make this happen. I mean,
Yeah,
that would be something that I would be so proud to work on, and something I think in the community we could actually make happen. Let's pull our resources. Let's create a new He-Man Masters of the Universe magazine. Ask the fans for content,
yeah,
artwork. That would be something that we could get done. Would be really cool for the fans.
yeah. Unfortunately, we'd probably have to name it, Masters of the Galaxy, because
Yeah.
I don't have the money to pay the royalties to Mattel.
Yeah. Now, if we went with mostly fan submitted stuff, uh, as long as we don't slap a Masters logo on it, I guess we're okay. But if it's original artwork, but yeah, man,
Right.
I would love to see something like that come together, because for what they were at the time, I mean, they were genius, man. You had your little greeting from He-Man.
Right.
You got your friends telling their little stories they sent in, and then this one right here actually has some information about Dolph Lundgren as Ivan Drago in the Rocky IV movie. So
Oh, cool.
that's
Yeah, I would even include like Fight Loki or something like that, in every magazine.
yeah, they used to have those cool little puzzles and things like that in the background.
Yeah, there's
I
a
mean,
lot. There's a lot that can be done. I mean, we have now over 30 years of content that we could be fitting in. It's just, you can include tidbits here and there of stuff that people may not know about. Uh, just interviews like with Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, how they started out at Filmation and then wound up, with Batman and the new the animated series and everything else they've done since then. It's a magazine today would be amazing.
well,
A monthly magazine.
I think that's what Dark Horse is doing really well. Like even in those books, there are little tidbits of information and things that even as a super fan, we didn't know. And so reading that and getting that behind the scenes kind of info, if you could get that kind of thing going on in a magazine where, hey, just spotlight about this individual. Did you know,
Right.
this? And yeah, it'd be
Right.
awesome, man. So if anybody's listening and you want to get together and try to make a magazine, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a fanzine.
Yeah.
Might be bi-monthly or something, because we all have jobs, we have families now, we got lives too. So, but
And I'm going to put a coupon in it for a free waffle spin.
that'd be great. I mean, that would be sweet. I mean, there's just so much that can be done with something like that. I mean, honestly, if you are listening and you want to get down with this, man, I honestly, I think it's something that we could do. And I think it would definitely be something that would be badass because, it'd be really cool. I mean,
yeah, just an idea, man. I think it would be awesome, and it's one of the things from my childhood that I mean, if I can find these magazines, I go crazy over them. It doesn't matter, because they're so cool for the content that was in them for the time.
Oh, sure. I mean, even reading them today, they're a little kiddish and childish, but it just brings you back to when you were
Yeah, I mean,
5 or 6 or 8 or whatever you were reading them. You know,
you may be reading it today, but you'll still roll that page up and look through it like Triclops with tunnel vision. I mean,
exactly.
don't lie, man. You've done it.
Yeah, yeah. I still whip mine out and reread them for 10 million times. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm
But
just
that's,
messing with
yeah,
you.
that's definitely something that could be done. And again, if there's, if you guys out there want to get involved, we can get a team together and
Yeah, let's throw together 20 pages, make a magazine, and throw it out there for everybody to enjoy. It'd be fun.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if it would be free or not because you
Well,
know,
obviously, you've got to put. I mean, I think something like that. If you're gonna make it, and it actually be something I could physically get my hands on, there's a cost involved with it. I mean, there
yeah,
has to be.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's something, like I said, if we could get a team together of guys, especially people with knowledge of this stuff, of fanzines or magazines or whatever, um, that would be even better. Because they'll have more information and insight than you and and I don't know how much Andrew knows, but I mean, that's something that I would completely love. Waiting for the mailbox every day when I think it's coming. That's
Oh
something.
man,
It'd be great.
and especially I think too. If you gave shout outs to people who were in the Masters of the Galaxy page, or
Yeah.
somebody posted something this week that was cool, and then a couple weeks later we mentioned it in the magazine. Man, what kind
Yes.
of nod is that? Because I mean, that's still something that if you got your name in the magazine, or associated
Right.
with Masters lore, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, we could have the customizer of the month or
Oh
what, the
yes, that would be
magazine.
amazing,
I
dude. You're
mean,
on it.
there's so many great customizers out there, and we could do a piece on them.
And they
Um,
could share their character profile on the
yeah.
piece that they created, give his
Exactly.
backstory. Oh, that would be awesome, Brian. You're on that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they could do show us maybe the process. Take like work in process pictures and stuff like that. I mean, it's just so much. It, so many different things that we can include now that weren't included back then.
Yeah, and it can have a more of an adult feel, because the truth is, man,
We've
we would be doing this for us. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that f this, f that.
oh no, we don't
But
need that. I mean, it
but
doesn't exist in Eternia, but the truth
right.
is, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having it geared a little more adultish as far as.
Well, it's gonna be I mean, we got to be real here. I mean, pretty much it's adults now that are still into it. Um, I mean, I don't really know any little kids. I haven't seen anybody running around with He-Man dolls.
I don't know, man. I gotta give a big shout out to some kids. I tell you what, dude. I meant to mention this to you earlier and I forgot. But Dan Rice, I mentioned him earlier, but he's been building a play set for his kids in the backyard, and
Okay.
the boys listen to the waffles. They love the waffles. Alex does a little pause for the cause with his sippy cup, and that's awesome. But uh, so he fell and he broke his arm this past week.
Oh,
So, Alex, I wish you well, buddy. I hope you mend up really well. But
yeah,
it
yeah.
was cool to see that. I mean, it did not slow him down a bit, and he had his figures and he was playing with his figures. These kids love this property, and we've got some folks in the group. Derek Brown, he's one of the first guys that was in the group. He won my first waffle, but his daughter, they posted a video. I don't know if you saw it. It's on Lucky Legends. Dude,
Okay.
scroll down and check it out. She is laying on the bed, and all of the waffle winnings that they have won since we started doing waffles are laying all over her, and she's got He-Man in one hand, or she's got some figures in one hand, and it's just going waffles, 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 waffles. Oh, it's amazing, dude. You got to check it out. It's it's on
It's
Lucky
cool.
Legends.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, my son has probably about 10 classic figures. I gave him some of my 2000X doubles. He's got some. I mean, he's more of a wrestling guy, but I mean, he's got his He-Man toys.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's great to see that there is the property does still appeal to children. I mean, when they see this barbarian and this, they want to know the story behind this guy, and then it's such an expansive world that kids just get sucked in, man. I
Oh
really.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the Filmation cartoon is a complete like mind. What's the word I'm looking for? Brainwash.
Brainwashing.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
Filmation will make you want to like He-Man.
yeah, they were a little more subtle about it with Filmation as opposed to the early commercials where it's like He-Man,
He-Man, yeah,
He-Man.
yeah.
Attack track. They're just trying to pound it into your brain so you buy
Right,
it.
right. Yeah. Those commercials, man, I'll never forget them. Yeah.
All right, dude. So I guess we've rambled for well over an hour.
Yeah.
I know it's Monday night. It's your night. So you want to close it up? Do you think?
Well, I just want to say again that this magazine thing, it sounds like a good idea. So again, guys, if you want to get involved, if you want to be involved, if you want to be into it, if you have any ideas, you don't want to be involved, just spit them out to us. You can PM us, or you can just write it on the Galaxy page.
Let's get a think tank going. Let's get together, guys. Let's get a party going.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that can definitely happen. Again, though, we'd have to put our heads together and see what we could do. But it's definitely something that I would be behind 110%. I think it could definitely happen. I mean, it might just be a couple of pages stapled together in the beginning,
but it'd still be cool to make, man.
But it will definitely be cool to get in the mail every month, bi-monthly in the beginning. And then
I think it'd be cool if you did. Let's say you did one a quarter, okay, and you had four. You did like they used to do, where you did a spring 2017, a summer 2017. Right. Yeah, man, be very cool.
Yeah, there's definitely different ways to attack it, but again, I just want to say, guys, I mean, it's in our court basically. It's up to us to do it. So if you want to do it, you got ideas, please tell us, because I'm stupid on the computer.
I got your back, Brian.
I'm really dumb on computers, illiterate. So it'll be interesting, and it'll be fresh, and it'll be something new other than what Super 7's putting out. Other than that, I mean, really, what else do we got? Well, loyal subjects, but it's something to look forward to. I'm definitely behind it 110%. I think it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah, I think it'd be a fun deal, man. I really do. So for everybody listening, I mean, give us your feedback, man. Like Brian said, holler at us on the page, PM us, something like that.
Yeah.
Say something. We're listening.
Yeah, we're always listening. So with that in mind, you want to give your send off?
Yeah, man. I'll send us out. I got, of course, the Waffle Mafia. If you guys want to check us out, it's Lord of Destruction Waffles with David Carboca. He puts a horse head in your bed. That's the God Waffler. We got old Johnny Mystery over at the Most Powerful Waffles, and of course, that's
my
me.
favorite. That's my favorite stalker.
It's the man, Johnny Miz. He get you, brother. He'll bring a boom in the room.
Yeah.
Got me over at Lucky Legends, and check out our boy Joito Josue over at La Wheel. So it's all good places, man. Good people. Come hang out and chat with some folks.
There you go, man. And I just want to say, guys, Aaron is he's an admin now on the Galaxy page.
Thank you, sir.
He got promoted, man. He's doing such a great job that I appreciated it. So
thank you, Brian.
He's an admin. No, thank you. And I got my friend Brian to be a mod too. So it's the Miz has a partner.
There you go.
So I just want to thank everybody involved with the page.
And thank you, Dirt. We never talk about Dirt, but thank you, Dirt.
Oh yeah, thank you.
I don't do nothing. I just sit here.
Man, but we couldn't do the thing without you back there, buddy.
So with that being said, man, until next time, rock on, man.